Elijah asked God to take his life. But what God did next may surprise you. Elijah had gone into the wilderness and sat beneath a broom tree. He was exhausted, he was discouraged, and he prayed, "It is enough. Now, O Lord, take away my life." But why had Elijah reached this point? The prophet who had stood fearlessly before kings was now alone in the wilderness, overwhelmed by everything he had been carrying. And then something remarkable happened. God did not rebuke him. An angel touched him and said, "Arise and eat." There was bread. There was water. Elijah ate and slept. Then the angel came again. "Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for you." Think about that. Before God gave Elijah another assignment, he gave him strength for the journey. And that tells us something about God. Sometimes the answer isn't another command to keep going. Sometimes God knows that his servant needs to stop, rest, and be strengthened. Elijah then traveled 40 days and 40 nights to Mount Horeb. There, inside a cave, God asked him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Elijah poured out his heart. He felt alone. He felt forgotten. But God had not forgotten him. Then a powerful wind tore through the mountain. But God was not in the wind. An earthquake came. But God was not in the earthquake. Fire came. But God was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. Elijah covered his face and listened. The prophet, who had been overwhelmed by everything around him, was reminded that God was still there. Maybe that's why Elijah's story still speaks to us. Because sometimes we can love God, trust God, and still become exhausted. But exhaustion is not abandonment. Silence is not necessarily absence. And a difficult season does not mean God has finished with you. If you know someone who is carrying more than they can explain, write, "God will give you strength," in the comments. Your words may encourage someone who reads them today. And if this story reminds you that God's word still speaks into the battles we face, subscribe to Wilderness Scroll. Remember Elijah. He thought he had reached the end, but God knew there was still a journey ahead.